Icy cold, freezing, bone chilling, whatever you want to call it, this weekend's weather is downright dangerous. We're tracking a record number of alert days in your forecast. Plus, with nearly a foot of snow on the ground, coupling with that extreme cold, we'll tell you about the potential dangers for homeowners and where people can go to stay safe. And the Badgers are battling this afternoon, trying to get back into the top 25. We'll have a preview of the big game.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning, and thanks for joining us on this January 26th. It is 5 in the morning. I'm Josh Bruder with meteorologist Chris Reese. And Chris, I think my fingers, I still can't feel them after that drive-in this morning.
It's definitely cold outside. Park in a garage, Josh. It'll help.
Well, I had to take the fiance's car because we didn't want to leave it outside all weekend
No, that's
without
understandable.
Starting, so.
Yeah, things are definitely cold out there. Madison, Josh, actually tied their record cold temperature this morning. So if we can drop a little bit more, we will set a new record cold. Now, here's the deal. You know it's cold when you see the steam rising from every single building out there. The temperature, -21, and that is the record. So if we drop one more degree to -22, we will actually set a record cold morning low for this day. So that's going to be something we're going to watch throughout the show. Temperatures elsewhere, -24 in Watertown, Lone Rock at -27 right now. Monroe, you guys are warm and balmy at 6 degrees below zero. Same for our friends in Milwaukee. Here's the deal. Wind chills are actually where a lot of those air temperatures are, just because there's not all that much of a breeze across the area. But where you see the breeze, of course, things do feel a little bit colder. Wind chill advisories as you work your way over towards Milwaukee. But the other thing, we have winter storm watches now for nearly the entire state of Wisconsin as our next winter storm comes into the picture, followed by once-in-a-generation cold coming up by next week. So yes, we do have an alert day in our forecast for Monday, along with more next week. We could be seeing double-digit snow amounts from this storm on Monday. So another big storm, Josh, and then the cold after that is certainly something to take seriously.
Welcome to winter Wisconsin.
Yep, it's here.
All right, Chris, thank you. Well, as those temperatures continue to drop, several agencies are making special accommodations. Many shelters are extending hours and providing transportation in between day and night shelters. They're also making sure no one is denied service. Police and city officials will be on high alert looking for people out in the cold, encouraging you to do what you can as well.
Now it's even more vitally important that we check on our neighbors and check with people and see, you know, what can I do to help? Are you okay? Do you need some warmth? Or can I run to the grocery store for you? Anything like that. You know, this is a caring community, and I know people really come through.
Madison's libraries are a free public space if you're trying to escape the elements this weekend. Here are some of those places people can go to get out of the cold. The Beacon on East Wash opens at 7:30 a.m. during cold weather and closes at 5 p.m. Starting today, Porch Light will begin taking people in the men's shelter at 5 p.m. They will continue that tomorrow evening as well. The Salvation Army will begin intake for women and families starting at 4 p.m. Madison Metro is also offering warming buses this weekend at their 4 transfer points, giving people the option to stay out of the cold. City officials say they are even considering extending these services into next week as well. It's obviously important to stay inside when possible. Doctors are warning about how extremely low temperatures over the next few days could lead to hypothermia and frostbite. Temperatures are expected to drop close to -50 with wind chills by the middle of next week. Doctors say that's when it only takes minutes of skin exposure to begin the first phases of frostbite, so it's important to be aware of what the symptoms are.
You'll first notice like a tingling sensation and then more of like a throbbing type pain. If you start to feel that means it's too long and you need to get inside right away.
Dr. Jackson says there are 4 stages of frostbite. The first 2 are tingling and discoloration. The third and fourth, blisters, and then loss of function. She says if you do find yourself in those beginning stages, not to put your hands under hot water, but to slowly warm up the cold parts of your body over the course of about a half hour. After our dangerously cold weekend, we've got another chance for heavy snow on Sunday and Monday. This comes as counties across the region are trying to limit the amount of salt they use. The goal is to help keep area lakes healthier. Crews in places like Dane County are using brine, which is a 23% salt and water solution. They're also using sand instead of rock salt when possible. Madison still uses about 30 pounds of rock salt per mile, but tries to cut back if able to.
If we can dial that back to 100 or 200 pounds per lane mile, we'll change the spreaders. We'll let our crews know that they can dial it back. We're trying to just be more effective managers of that material.
The city says while sand might not entirely clear the roads of snow, it is still safe to drive on because it adds traction. Right now, Madison Water Utility is asking people to clear any snow that builds up around fire hydrants in your neighborhood. There are more than 9,000 hydrants within the city limits. Crews say having them cleared can make a big difference during emergencies. As these below zero temps stick around, this cold weather doesn't just pose a risk to you and your family, it can also wreak havoc on your house. Plumbers in Madison say running your faucets occasionally and even letting them drip overnight in this kind of weather can help prevent a frozen or burst pipe. Opening cabinet doors under sinks to let warmer air closer to the pipes and turning up your thermostat a couple of degrees is also recommended. Regan Howie is the owner of Howie Brothers Plumbing and says a bit of preparation is worth it since pipe repair costs can run anywhere between a couple hundred to thousands of dollars.
It might just be a simple thing in an older home of heavy steel pipe that you don't have water for a couple of days. If it's thinner pipe, copper pipe, or if you have bad luck, the pipe can burst or the pipe can freeze in a long span, and now you're really in trouble. Could be ripping open walls, lath and plaster patching, insurance claims, it can snowball.
Companies are also advising homeowners to check their furnaces. MG&E has a list of tips on its website, and we have a link to that on channel3000.com. As we all try to stay warm this weekend, be sure to download our Channel 3000 First Alert Weather and Traffic app. Stay safe and informed with News 3. The President and Congress reached a deal Friday to end the partial government shutdown at least the middle of next week. The plan provides a window for border security negotiations while allowing thousands of federal workers to get paid for the first time in more than a month. However, if you're traveling by air anytime soon, you might still feel the pain of the government shutdown. While President Trump announced the deal, air traffic controllers and security agents missed a second paycheck Friday. Travel delays occurred because of an increase in sick calls at 2 East Coast air traffic control centers. Things got so backed up at New York's LaGuardia Airport that there was eventually a ground stop, which meant the airport was temporarily closed to incoming flights. The delays sent rippling effects all the way to Madison. Some flights out of Dane County Regional to LaGuardia, Chicago O'Hare, Atlanta, Orlando, Philly, and Newark were impacted. Delayed travelers expressed frustration.
The people should not be suffering for this. And I'm not talking about myself even on a plane. I'm talking about these people that can't feed their kids.
A Dane County Regional spokesperson says there are no staffing shortages locally. There's a reminder to anyone struggling to make ends meet right now, there is help available. The Rock County Job Center has resources for training, filling out unemployment assistance paperwork, and understanding finances. Those are available not only to furloughed workers, but also to people let go after a number of big box stores shut down in and around Janesville. You can contact the career specialist there for more information. We've also compiled a list of deals for federal employees who need some short-term help on the Channel 3000 mobile app. Another event happening this weekend is reaching out to those in a struggling industry, farmers. The Wisconsin Farmers Union is holding its 88th annual state convention in Appleton. Folks will talk about everything from how to help your crops through climate change to mental health resources for farmers. Families living on Madison's southeast side could soon have a new neighborhood center. The city already budgeted $2 million to build a new Bridge Lake Point Community Center. That would replace the center on Lake Point Drive just off West Broadway. The hope is to accommodate more activities for kids and parents living around there. Just this week, the Finance Committee started the process of getting bids for that development. Madison police are usually the ones locking people up for violating the rules, but tonight they might find themselves in the penalty box. Officers will be facing off against Madison firefighters in their annual Battle of the Badges charity hockey game. This year, the game will benefit Safe Communities Recovery Coach program, which pairs people living with opioid addiction with someone to help them navigate their recovery. All of the money raised today will go toward expanding the program to help even more people. That game starts at 6:30 at the Hartmeyer Ice Arena. The Badgers men's basketball team will hope to keep their momentum going with a third win in a row when the Badgers host Northwestern at the Kohl Center this afternoon. They followed up last weekend's huge upset of number 2 ranked Michigan last Saturday with a 12-point win on the road against Illinois on Wednesday. Another win could help them get back into the top 25. Tip-off against the Wildcats is set for 1:15, and if you can't make it down to the Kohl Center, the game is on the Big Ten Network. What has been 6 years since the Bucks first drafted Giannis Antetokounmpo, and now he's one of the leaders of the league. The 24-year-old franchise player is a captain for the All-Star team. It's his third straight All-Star game appearance, his second start, and this is wild. The other captain is LeBron James. Those two were the top 2 vote getters. The captains will pick their teams regardless of conference on February 7th rather. The All-Star game is set for February 17th in Charlotte, North Carolina. Just about 5:11 on this Saturday morning, and if you've got plans to get outside today, maybe think again. We're waking up with temps in the 20s below zero this morning. That's right, you heard that right, 20s below zero. Here's a live look outside. You can see that steam billowing up from all those buildings downtown. Chris will be talking about even colder temperatures and even another shot at heavy snow in his full forecast when News 3 This Morning Saturday returns.
Well, we have at least tied the record low for this date with an air temperature of 21 degrees below zero. If we can watch this temperature drop 1 more degree, we will set a new record. Other temperatures are very chilly. Lone Rock at -27 right now, -28 as you work your way up towards Black River Falls. Boscobel at 26 degrees below zero. And then, of course, we don't have as much in the way of wind. So that's actually helping things out in terms of wind chill. So it actually feels like negative 21 here in Madison, and it actually feels like negative 27 as you work your way over towards Lone Rock. And so we don't have any wind chill advisories here for now, and that's because wind chills are essentially going to get better as we go throughout your Saturday. Here we are at 9:30, 13 below. It's still cold. Even as we get you into the afternoon, 1 below. These are the wind chills again, and it's still going to be cold out there, but it's not going to be that wind chill advisory criteria. We'll get cold again as we head into your Sunday morning. That's where temperatures again could be upwards of 15 to 25 degrees below zero. When it comes to that wind chill, actual air temperatures will be below zero as well into your Sunday. Let's show you those actual air temperatures as we take you hour by hour. By 9:30 today, it'll be right around negative 18 or so, topping out at 8 degrees today. So we're actually going to see a lot of warming as a weak little system slides by towards the south and west. It might bring a dusting of snow to the far southwestern counties. I can't rule out some flurries here in Madison, but skies clear overnight. That allows those temperatures to fall back below zero once again. Here comes the cloud cover into Sunday along with the snow. That could be heavy snow with temperatures in the single digits. So we're talking a lot of blowing and drifting snow as well. Here we are with the winter storm watches for everywhere that you see in the blue. That's our entire viewing area. Honestly, it's nearly the entire state of Wisconsin under these winter storm watches, except for extreme northern tiers of the state. But this wide swath of winter storm watches goes back through the Twin Cities up towards North and South Dakota as we're going to watch a system zip in from the north and west. And the best timing on that is snow will begin to overspread us Sunday night. A lot of that heaviest snow right around during the Monday morning rush hour. And that snow could potentially last until the Monday evening rush hour as well. Here's another model showing you the agreement with the snow moving in and that heaviest right at the rush hour. Now, there's still just a few differences. I'm going to show you the European model first, and it's highlighting the potential of double-digit snows across parts of the area. So we're going to watch that one closely. The GFS model is a little bit farther towards the north, but even still, you're talking 8 to 12 inches of snow in spots. So it's still looking to be a big snow with a lot of wind gusts as well. Beyond that, it is the wind chills that we could see as we head into your Wednesday as well. We're talking anywhere from negative 50 towards negative 60 in some spots. And that's cold enough to really cause some injury. So here we are, your frostbite times on Wednesday morning down in the 5-minute range. And even as we head into Thursday morning as well, your frostbite times are going to be in that 5 to 10-minute range. So as we look ahead towards the next week, you really have to be prepared for the cold that is certainly coming into the picture, folks. 4 alert days by Wednesday. We have a high of negative 6 with a low of 22 degrees below zero. And we'll watch that snowpack to see if we have to usher any of those numbers down. But things are certainly going to be on the cold side, Josh.
I guess so. All right. Thanks, Chris.
My pleasure.
All of Dane County's snowmobile trails are open this weekend. There must be at least 6 inches of snow and steady below freezing temperatures to open them. This is the first time this season that there have been adequate snow conditions, but county officials warn not all trails have been groomed, so there could be some uneven terrain, snow-covered and icy sections, and the potential for open water near marshes and waterways. People in Lake Geneva have been hoping for cold weather all winter long, and their wishes have finally been more than answered. If you're willing to brave the cold and enjoy some of this winter wonderland, head east. The ice castles have officially been opened. Construction on the 10,000 or so icicles has been put on hold this winter because of rain and melting. The Utah-based crews have had to start over 5 times so far, but the icy masterpieces are now open. Admission is $16 for adults and $11 for kids. Wisconsinites are still feeling a bit icy about a big decision made earlier this week in Milwaukee. Brewers fans are testing out names like AmFam Field and Family Insurance Stadium with the news that Miller Park will be getting a new name. American Family Insurance is set to take over the naming rights for the Brewers Stadium in 2021 when the current arrangement with Miller Coors runs out in 2 years. In an email to its employees, Miller Coors said AmFam pitched a, quote, incredibly rich offer, but the beer company will keep its relationship with the Brewers. AmFam has signed a 15-year naming rights deal. The new name has yet to be announced. 5:19 is your time this morning. Hollywood is ready to celebrate the best and worst of the year with some of the most well-known actors, actresses, and even the president scoring nominations. And there are several shows and movies you can stay inside and watch this weekend. Wheels in next with 3 things to watch on News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is 5:22 this morning, and in entertainment news right now, the 2019 Oscar nominations were announced this week. Roma and The Favorite topped the list with 10 nominations each. That makes Roma the first Netflix movie ever to be nominated for Best Picture. Black Panther was the top grossing movie of 2018 and is the first superhero movie up for Best Picture. Spike Lee earned his first nomination for Best Director for BlacKkKlansman, and Lady Gaga is already making award show history with dual Oscar nominations for A Star is Born. She's the first person to be nominated for Best Actress and Best Original Song in the same year. From the best to the worst, the Razzie Awards were announced this week, honoring the worst films of 2018. John Travolta's Gotti, a biopic of the crime boss, and Holmes & Watson, starring Will Ferrell and John C. Reilly, each earned 6 nominations. President Trump even got a nod for Worst Actor for his appearance in 2 documentaries. The winners will be announced on February 23rd, a day before the Oscars. You don't have to wait a month to enjoy some entertainment. Will Loper is sparing us those bad flicks as he shares 3 things of the best things to watch this weekend.
Well, I got a boyfriend.
Yeah, I heard, but it's all good.
Really?
We've been together our whole lives, so we got time.
Newly released on home video this week is The Hate You Give.
Out of the car.
Yo, Star, you okay?
Go back where he told you. Khalil, I'm not playing. Go back where... What did you do?
Amanda Stenberg stars as a high school student who sees her friend shot by a police officer and must decide what the right thing to do is.
It's best if she don't talk to Father.
You're threatening her. It's about more than just Khalil. It's about black people, poor people, everybody at the bottom. I need to speak for him.
The Hate You Give is available to rent or buy everywhere now.
We live in a complicated world.
It doesn't seem that complicated to me.
Mom, what's wrong?
Nothing, honey. Your dad's going to the moon.
Also new on home video this week is First Man.
We've chosen a job so difficult, requiring so many technological developments. We're gonna have to start from scratch.
Ryan Gosling stars as Neil Armstrong, preparing to make a trip to the moon in a film with some of the tensest moments of the year.
Damn, that is a big mother. It'll go up like a half-kiloton A-bomb if it blows.
The vehicle's not safe.
We need to fail down here so we don't fail up there.
This isn't just another trip, Neil. You're not just going to work.
Do you think you're coming back?
First Man is available to rent or buy everywhere now. Finally, now streaming on Netflix is the docu-series Conversations with a Killer, the Ted Bundy tapes.
My name is Ted Bundy. I've never spoken to anybody about this. I am looking for an opportunity to tell the story as best I can.
The miniseries features never-before-seen or heard interviews with the infamous and horrific criminal Ted Bundy.
I think things are going to work out. That's about all I can say.
Bundy is acting as his own lawyer. What is unusual to see is that many of the onlookers are women.
Are you a little scared when you look at him?
He just doesn't look like the type to kill somebody.
Serial killer Theodore Bundy has escaped once again. One of the FBI's most wanted men.
He was charming, good-looking, smart. Are you sure you have the right guy?
All 4 episodes of Conversations with a Killer, the Ted Bundy tapes, are streaming on Netflix now.
I mean, I'm not an animal and I'm not crazy. I'm a split personality.
I mean, I'm just a normal individual.
Those are the 3 things you need to watch, and this is Will Loper for News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
A new take on a classic is out this weekend. A mythical sword helps a young boy revive the tale of a King Arthur in the new movie, The Kid Who Would Be King. Louis Ashbourne Circus stars as Alex. He sets out to unite friends and enemies to battle the wicked enchantress Morgana. The Kid Who Would Be King is now showing. 5:27 right now, and still ahead this morning, we're tracking those dangerously cold temperatures that will be sticking around and even more heavy snow possible on the way. Plus, we're heading to the Kohl Center for a preview of this afternoon's Badger game as the team is hoping a 3rd consecutive win could put them back into the top 25. News 3 This Morning Saturday will be back after this. What happens when you mix a bit of France with the Hawaiian Islands? A unique soundtrack you'll only hear in Madison. We have your morning notes coming up.
This is News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Good morning and welcome back to News 3 This Morning, Saturday. It is 5:30 in the morning on this January 26th. I'm Josh Breiter. Meteorologist Chris Reese is tracking dangerously cold temps this morning. We'll get to that in just a moment. And with that, a warning. It can only take minutes for these wind chills to cause frostbite. No one should really be outside for any extended period of time this morning. If you or someone you know doesn't have a place to get warm, shelters in Madison will not turn anyone away once the temperature reaches 20 below. You can find a full list of shelters and their schedules on our website, channel3000.com. The president and Congress reached a deal Friday to end the partial government shutdown at least until the middle of next month. However, if you're traveling by air anytime soon, you might still feel the pain of its lasting effects. While President Trump announced a deal, air traffic controllers and security agents missed a second paycheck Friday. Travel delays occurred because of an increase in sick calls at 2 East Coast air traffic control centers. Things got so backed up at New York's LaGuardia Airport that there was eventually a ground stop. Madison police are hoping to stay out of the penalty box tonight as they face off against the city's firefighters in their annual Battle of the Badges charity hockey game. This year, the game will benefit Safe Communities Recovery Coach program, which pairs people living with opioid addiction with someone to help them navigate their recovery. All of the money raised today will go toward expanding the program to help even more people. That game starts at 6:30 at the Hartmeyer Ice Arena. The Badgers men's basketball team is hoping to keep their momentum going with a third win in a row. The Badgers host Northwestern at the Kohl Center this afternoon. They followed up last weekend's huge upset of number 2 ranked Michigan last Saturday with a 12-point win on the road against Illinois on Wednesday. Another win could help them getting back into the top 25. Tip-off against the Wildcats is set for 1:15, and that game will also be airing on the Big Ten Network. It is 5:33 right now, and I know, Chris, you've been monitoring those low temperatures. Are we still tied for that record low?
At the moment, still tied for the record low of -21. If we drop 1 more degree, we will set a new record low. And given that the fact that the skies are clear, we could drop that 1 more degree, especially with that calm wind. So we're going to watch that as we go through the morning. Other temperatures, -17 as you work your way over towards Janesville, 27 below in Lone Rock, Boscobel, 26 below. There are no temperatures that are actually above 0 across south central Wisconsin at all going through the morning. Thankfully, the winds are calm, though. So a lot of those wind chills, some of them are colder than the air temperatures, but a lot of those wind chills are close to what the actual air temperatures are. But still, folks, it's cold. You can get frostbite and about half an hour or less if you're going to be outside in these temperatures. Now, there are some wind chill advisories. Those are mainly from Milwaukee up towards Sheboygan and Manitowoc. That does not include us here in Madison, of course, but we could see more wind chill advisories and wind chill warnings in time. What we do have practically for everyone right now are winter storm watches. This is going to be as we go from Sunday and into your Monday. In fact, your Monday morning commute looks like it could be the height and the most intense part of this next storm system that comes through. So, of course, we're going to watch that one very closely. But as we enter into Maine weather a little later in the show, we're talking about a bitterly cold weekend. We're going to talk about the next winter storm, along with some once-in-a-generation cold that we're expecting late next week, Josh.
All right, Chris, lots to talk about. Thank you. Madison's own Malodwa certainly has a unique sound. The band combines early century French swing music with a Hawaiian flair as they entertain happy hour crowds on the east side twice a month. Photojournalist Christopher Habaker takes us to Mickey's Tavern to listen in on these morning notes.
So here we're at Mickey's Tavern, which is our oldest residency in town. I've been coming back here twice a month for well over 3 years now.
Malodwa is kind of a eclectic combination of French swing music and early Hawaiian music.
It's joyful, it's happy, it's up-tempoed. Yeah, people really dig it.
We call it a hot Hawaiian and French guitar sorcery. It's like early acoustic, hot, hot, fiery gypsy jazz meets kind of this nice, flowy Hawaiian music. Especially with the Hawaiian music, it doesn't necessarily make sense that a German, Belgian, a Madison-born guy and a French guy are playing Hawaiian music, but if we have a chance to explain it, it all makes sense.
The funny part is that Chris is the American guy flat-picking swing manouche, traditional French gypsy music. I was the French guy doing fingerstyle. I'm from northern France, Champagne region, in a town called Reims. We thought, well, let's try to blend both styles. And it turned out we had a whole lot of fun. So the duo was making a lot of noise.
Fell in love with jazz right around the time when it was those bands like Big Bad Voodoo Daddy and kind of the swing revival in the early 90s. That kind of got my ear into jazz, and so from that I got into Miles Davis, Coltrane, early jazz guitar, that kind of stuff.
Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, Gene Vincent, and of course Elvis and Jerry Lee. So I grew up listening to a lot of that. I started strumming and playing folk songs and Bob Dylan and all that stuff. I met a friend who had turned me on to fingerstyle and finger picking. And fingerstyle allows me to play all the bass runs and pick the melody and sing at the same time.
Maladroit in French means my fingers hurt. Obviously, it's spelled more phonetically than the actual French way, because if we tried to use the French spelling, people would not be able to pronounce it.
What next? I don't know. Another record, maybe adding another musician for the upcoming festivals. If anything, learning more music is always the goal.
Maladroit just celebrated 10 years together, and their new album will be released this summer. You can catch them this Thursday at Mickey's Tavern's Happy Hour, as well as numerous other shows, which are all on their website, maladroit.com. What is 5:38 right now? Can't wait to Thursday to see all the fun? Well, we've got you covered with some ideas this weekend. From a suspense-filled spelling bee to a spunky wrapper and a new art display. There are plenty of options to get you out of this frigid weather. Your Weekend 608 is coming up on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Temperatures have tied the record low for today at 21 degrees below zero. If we cool off by another degree, we will actually set a record. Wind chills are about where a lot of actual air temperatures are, simply because the breeze out there is not all that strong. That's good news. Now, by the afternoon, we will warm above zero for those highs. Right around 8 degrees. I can't rule out a few scattered flurries this afternoon as well.
All right, well, it is the weekend in the 608.
And here's a look at what's going on around Madison.
Some are calling it the shindig of the year. The Overture Center's biggest fundraising event is a Dress to the Nines craft cocktail sipping, appetizer nibbling affair. You can dance to the Chicago's 10-piece upbeat orchestra's mix of swing, ballroom, R&B, and Motown arrangements. The party kicks off tonight, starting at 8:30.
Another music option is at the Sylvie. Chicago rapper No Name will perform tonight. She released her album Room 25 last year. Since then, she's worked with several big names, incorporating spunky spoken word and jazzy backup into her set. You can catch the show tonight at 8.
It is back again. Lith Coney Bear and William Barfay are just a couple of the misfit teens to compete in the 25th annual Putnam County Spelling Bee. The show takes place at Cardinal Heights Upper Middle School in Sun Prairie, running both this weekend and next. The show centers around a group of quirky middle school spellers who compete under the guidance of an equally quirky adults. It's put on by the Sun Prairie Civic Theater. You can get a full list of show times on their website.
And it's a great time of the year to check out the Chazen Art Exhibit. Southern Rights opens this weekend and runs into the spring. UW alum Gillian Luab's 2 decades of photography explores the nuances and cultural identity, including images of a southern town that once held racially segregated dances well into the 21st century.
As always, you can get this month's Madison magazine for all of the best in the Madison area.
Well, of course, the big story of the weekend is the weather, and with extreme cold and heavy snow on the way.
Yeah, let's take a live look outside. Chris, you were talking about we've tied that record low temperature so far. I have a feeling we're going to actually break that record.
Yeah, me too.
That forecast is coming up in just a moment. But first, happy birthday to all of the kiddos turning 3 today. Thanks for celebrating with us on News 3 This Morning, Saturday.
Temperatures still on a cold note, as much as 21 degrees below zero this morning here in Madison anyway. You work your way towards the west, some folks even colder, 27 below zero. That's for Lone Rock, Camp Douglas, and Black River Falls. Boscobel, 26 degrees below zero, so not far behind. The winds are calm though. By the way, if we drop one more degree, we will set a record low. If it's got to be this cold, I guess we go big or go home here in Wisconsin. But the winds are calm, and that's helping keep the wind chills closer to where a lot of those actual air temperatures are, which is good news. But even still, folks, if you're outside in this, especially without protection and without wind, it's going to take you half an hour. You're going to have frostbite, so definitely be mindful of that. Now, as we go through the morning, wind chills get better. Here we are at 10 o'clock, right around 10 to 15 degrees below zero. Towards the afternoon, hey, it may feel like zero at one point, so that's actually getting better compared to what we've seen. But, folks, it could be chilly into tomorrow morning as well. Here we are Sunday. Once a lot of folks are headed out the door, and it could feel like it does this morning, right around 20 to 21 degrees below zero. Now, actual air temperatures, let's take you hour by hour. Here we are this morning feeling, or this is the actual air temperature, right around negative 18. We'll warm up towards 8 this afternoon. We'll watch a slight chance of some flurries move into the south and west, but that cloud cover is going to keep us warm. The problem is it may move out overnight. This is going to allow those temperatures to fall back below zero once again, and then here comes the cloud cover and the heavy snow into your Sunday. You're talking heavy snow, wind, and temperatures in the single digits. This is going to be a dry, fluffy snow. It's just going to blow around all over the place. So we do have winter storm watches pretty much for all of the area other than extreme northern Wisconsin. Those winter storm watches go all the way back north and west throughout parts of Minnesota and the Dakotas. So we're going to watch the system move in from the north and west. This is Sunday night. A lot of that heaviest snow will move in right around rush hour on Monday morning. That was the GFS. Here's the European model, and you see the same theme. So we are seeing agreement among the models, which is good given that we are this close, but there's still subtle differences. The European model painting double-digit snows across the area, but then you focus on the GFS, and it still has substantial snow, upwards of 8 or 9 inches, just a little bit farther towards the north, though. So we're going to fine-tune that, but after that, we do get cold wind chills anywhere from negative 50 towards negative 60, especially towards Wednesday and Thursday. So here we are Wednesday morning. It could take 5 minutes to get frostbite on Wednesday morning, even into Thursday morning. We're talking 5 to 10 minutes before frostbite can set in. So you're going to want to make sure that if you are outside at all as we go towards the middle and end of next week, you're going to want to be covered up and limit that time. 4 alert days in the forecast, a snowstorm, and then once in a generation cold to follow that up, Josh. So,
wow.
Here's your pet walk. Pam and friend in Stoughton having a great time.
Oh, yeah, got to bring in that heat from others, right?
I know, it's the cuddle up season, I guess.
It was hard to leave bed this morning, that's for sure.
I bet that is true.
All right, well, it is time to share your morning, and this is what Shannon Adkins Mitchell shared on Facebook. This is out of Westfield. Check that out. I feel like with these brutal cold mornings, it does make for some really good picture-taking weather.
We've had some beautiful sunrises. It's been amazing.
Just stay inside and take those pictures. Well, thank you so much for sharing. Take a picture, post it to the Channel 3000 Facebook page, Instagram, or Twitter, and use the hashtag MyNews3Morning. That's how we can pick out our favorites and air them right here on the show. 5:51 is your time right now. There's a full hour of News 3 this morning ahead at 8 o'clock, and then tomorrow morning on News 3 starting at 6:30, we'll share some tips about keeping your car safe and running sound during this weather. But first, while our temperatures remain uncomfortably cold, the winter weather also brings some beauty along with it. We'll show you the ice disc gaining national attention when News 3 This Morning Saturday continues.
Yeah, I think
Welcome back at 5:54. It has been a frigid week of snow and single-digit temperatures, but the combination of the two has created quite the spectacle in Maine.
Yeah, a giant disc of ice in a river near Portland is drawing international attention. David Begnog shows us the site.
If symmetry in nature is what you're looking for, welcome to Westbrook, Maine.
Westbrook is now famous for this spinning ice disc in the river, which is great.
I have a big question. How did the ice get made?
It is a whopping 300 feet wide. The frozen disc had been spinning on the Presumpscot River for the last 72 hours, but it stopped yesterday. That didn't stop the people who wanted to see it, though.
I was just speaking to my sister in England. I said, we've made national news. And she said, no, you haven't made national. You've made international. You were just on the BBC.
Now, a rare natural phenomenon taking shape in the U.S. state of Maine is mesmerizing people around the world.
What is going on here? It's Maine. The air is cold. You get ice.
Eric Fisher is the chief meteorologist at our CBS station WBZ in Boston. He says the rotation of the ice can be driven by the current of the river, but also by the temperature changes in the water underneath the ice. Eric says that creates a vortex that causes it to spin.
The shore in this case acts as almost like a grinding wheel where the ice hits the coast and it starts to shave off, and it creates this perfect pizza shape of the ice disc there floating in the water.
They're fairly rare. We may hear about these once or twice a winter.
Stephen Daly specializes in river ice hydraulics for the Army Corps of Engineers. He says while ice discs are not unheard of, the ones he's seen are much smaller, ranging from 30 to only 50 feet.
They had the perfect combination of air temperature, ice production, and flow conditions for this to form.
People have joked it looks like the far side of the moon. Others have said it must have been brought by aliens. The cold, hard truth is, scientists say this did not come from outer space. David Begno, CBS News, on a 10-degree day in Westbrook, Maine.
That is beautiful.
It really is. I saw something on social media yesterday. It was after it froze over, there was a guy on it with an axe trying to get it back open. So that's dedication, but that was certainly a spectacle out there.
I wish we could take an axe and get some of that warmer weather back.
Well, we will see, because it's got to get worse before it gets better, Josh. And we are talking 4 alert days in our forecast. By the time we get you towards Wednesday and Thursday morning, I mean, we're talking wind chills anywhere between -50 and -60 on those mornings. So it's going to be a brutally cold morning where you can get frostbite in about 5 minutes if you're outside without covering. Oh yeah, potential for a major winter storm Sunday night and a Monday as well. We are talking snowfall ranges anywhere from 5 to upwards of 12 inches in some spots.
All right, we'll be tracking that and have the latest when you see us again on News 3 This Morning, Saturday at 8 o'clock. Until then, have a great morning.
Making plans that are weather dependent? Get an accurate 12-hour, even a 10-day forecast. Download the Channel 3000 First Alert Weather app and start planning.